This coffee's cold and old. Hello there, and welcome back to the Vagabond Arashikage channel. Probably the only channel where we do lots of cool martial arts stuff and talk about comics and do board game reviews and unboxing of action figures. Yeah, if you know about another YouTube channel that does all of that stuff, please let me know in the comments, because that sounds really cool and sounds like a channel I would like to subscribe to. Yeah. Anyway, so what are we doing today, KH? Well, in our last episode, we talked about the newest Evil Dead movie. The Evil Shall Rise. No. Rise of the Evil Dead? No. Evil Rises once. No. Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, that's the one. Yes. So we did a Ninja Coffee episode with Ash and Paul Christian and talked about that movie. And ever since, I've been really hooked on comics and horror comics and horror movies. Yeah, so I've been watching a lot of horror movies and reading lots of comic books. So I've been reading up on all these Evil Dead comic books, like Army of Darkness versus Reanimator, or like Army of Darkness and Bubba Hotep. Yeah. And other like comic books, like Stuff of Nightmares by R.L. Stine from Goosebumps, and some Steve Niles stuff, A Town Called Terror. Yeah, all sorts of cool things. There's so much stuff. Yeah. So what are we reviewing today? So many comics. So few hours. Oh well. Yeah. I have something for you. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about something really cool. I say that in every episode, but yes. In today's episode, we are going to talk about Lonesome Days, Savage Nights. Yes. So, this is a comic book by Steve Niles. If you might remember, or you might know Steve Niles from 30 Days of Night. If you have read that comic book or watched the movie adaptation. And this is a horror, crime noir, detective, supernatural story. It's a bit of everything. It's a bit of all the cool stuff. So yeah, this is about a werewolf detective. And before we get into what the comic book is about, let's just go through the usual stuff. So this, as I mentioned, is written by Steve Niles and Salvatore Simeone. So the writers are Steve Niles and Salvatore Simeone. The story is by Salvatore Simeone. And the art is by Szymon Kudranski. I hope I'm saying that right. Szymon Kudranski has done a lot of cool stuff, like some Punisher stuff, I think some Batman stuff, and he's done some illustrations on Spawn. And if somebody's been illustrating for Spawn, then you know it's good. Yeah, and the art in this comic book is just amazing. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So, yeah. The art is by Szymon Kudranski, and this is a comic book by TKO Studios. Technical Knockout Studios? Sure. Okay. Yes. So, as I mentioned, this is a werewolf story. It's about a guy named Stu Manning. And Stu was just like your regular guy. He wanted to become a cop. But on his first day on the job, he kind of messes up and he gets attacked by this creature and he gets bitten, and he loses his gun, so he gets fired, and then being kicked off the force, he starts up as a detective, like a private detective. So yeah, that's how everything starts. And it's kind of a weird thing because he's a private detective and he's got these powers, like he is more or less a werewolf. So I know it reminded me of like Wolf Cop, and also like all the werewolf stuff you've seen, like Teen Wolf. I don't know. Wolf Cop is amazing. If you haven't seen that movie, go check it out. But yeah, so he's a werewolf detective, and as always, I don't like to get too much into spoilers, but somebody near him, like, oh, screw it, spoilers. Okay, his girlfriend, she gets killed by these mobsters or gangsters, and after that, Stu goes on this crazy rampage, like this quest for vengeance, blood, and justice. And it's a very cool story. It's a very focused story with a very nice atmosphere. It's got that really nice noir feel to it, and really cool world building. I like the characters, both like the bad guys and the good guys. Stu has like a police cop friend that is like trying to help him out, and also make sure that he's not losing his sanity and falling completely into darkness and madness. Yeah, so it's like a revenge story, a detective story, a supernatural story, a werewolf story, all that into one. Is it worth checking out? Absolutely. The story is cool and fun, and I didn't know this when I read it, but it's like the Manning Files, Volume 1. And there's like, yeah, so this is the first of hopefully a series. But when I read it, I thought that was it, and like it was like a one-shot. But I totally would not mind reading more of this. Now let's talk about the art. The art is amazing. All right, so let's have a look at the illustrations. So you see, whenever it's dark, the use of white and black and red just lights up everything, so you can always see what's going on. Very cool. I love the black and the red. Yeah. I'm gonna show some more, like check all these really cool illustrations. I mean, every page is just brilliant, and so much blood. I love the red and the black and the blood. It's really violent, by the way, so if you don't like blood and gore, then this might not be for you. So cool. And as I said, this is a very violent horror comic book, so right up my alley. Looks just amazing. Yeah, and yeah, it's a dark story. It's a bit gritty, but at the same time, it's got some fun moments. Okay, I'm not gonna say too much more about it. Very cool comic book. If you can't wait for Halloween and need some horror stuff, some werewolf stuff, go check it out. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. Now, I hope to do I want to do a review on the different Evil Dead or Army of Darkness comic books. I don't have them all, but I was thinking maybe I'll do a review on the ones I have and the ones I've read. Yeah, but that's a tale for another time. So, thanks guys for dropping by. If you want some cool werewolf stuff, check out Lonesome Days, Savage Nights. And thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Why am I even drinking this?